What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ. Today we're going to focus in on the Ryan Suter situation and where his future with Nashville or elsewhere lies in the coming weeks as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline. That's a month away. So without further ado, Ryan Suter said last night at the NHL media scrum at the All-Star game that he won't sign an extension with the Preds before the deadline, which is kind of puts Dave Poyle and the Predators management in a tough spot. I'm assuming he gave them the heads up on that months ago, or at least weeks ago, that he's not going to sign the extension, and it kind of puts them in a predicament. Obviously, it's him and Shea Weber are both free agents on July 1st. It's a little dicey with Suter because they control Weber at least through next season because he's a restricted free agent. So they kind of have some time to play around with signing him long term. But Suter's a little bit dicey here. Obviously, they're probably the best defense pairing in the NHL. Weber is the best defenseman in the NHL, hands down by a mile. But it becomes dicey with this because Weber said he'll re-sign with Nashville if they can re-sign the players around him, meaning Suter. But if Nashville doesn't re-sign, if he won't re-sign with Nashville and he bolts on July 1st, they walk away with nothing, and Weber is pissed and won't re-sign long term, and you'll lose him after next season. So it really is, a game of Russian roulette right here with the Preds. Obviously, a small market team that doesn't spend to the cap. They have their own internal cap, and that's nature of the beast with the small market teams. They obviously don't have the spending power the New York Rangers or the Bruins or Canadians have, due to the non-traditional market that Nashville is. That being said, Poyle said he's looking to spend more. The days of them being a budget team are over. That's what he told Weber and Suter, apparently. They re-signed Pecorine to a 7-year, $49 million deal in September, October. So, they've got him locked up. They got the goalie in place. It's a matter of re-signing one of their two stud defensemen. And, obviously they'd love to keep both, and I think they'll go on a limb to keep both, but it's how much do they both want to stay. And it becomes really, like I said, a very, very dicey situation. Philly really wants Suter. They coveted defenseman. They were dangling Van Riemsdyk for Luke Shen a couple weeks ago. And I don't think they'd want to give up Van Riemsdyk for Suter. They might, because I think they have the confidence they can re-sign him with Pronger's career possibly being over. I think a good American defenseman like Suter would fit in great in that system. I don't mean to sound racist against Canadians, but obviously a traditional American city like Philly would love having a superstar. I'm not going to say superstar. A star defenseman from the lower 48, and I think he'd be a good fit in Philly. Fits his system very well. Obviously, I think him and Braden Coburn would be a great pairing. Obviously, two guys that won the top 10 in the now famous '03 draft that have had pretty good careers. I think the other team that'd be a great fit for him is the Bruins, but I don't think they'd mess with the chemistry they have in that team. Their defensemen are playing well as it is. They're looking for a lefty defenseman. I think they could get him. They got the players in the organization. Probably cost you Jordan Caron, Jared Knight of the London Knights, totally fitting name, and a first-round pick. It would cost the Bruins. But I don't think they'd be able to do that. They like the defenseman they have in place. I think they're looking for a depth defenseman, not a guy that's going to command a big contract on July 1st. I think they could re-sign Suter too, but I think, like I said, they're really happy with the group they have. Maybe a couple depth players at the deadline, but nothing too serious. The New York Rangers are obviously a possibility too. They're in on almost every trade. They got the prospects to make a deal happen. I think it'd be a good fit on Broadway as well. Playing in the original six market would be a wake-up call for the kid. Playing his whole career in Nashville, which has a great fan base, but not obviously the biggest. I love the Predators. They've always really been my Western Conference team. Being a big country music fan, obviously, I really hope they can re-sign them. As much of a Bruins fan as I am, I like to see them keep the players they have because they've got a great thing in Nashville, and I want to see them continue being a great team. And they've been hot as of late, and I think they can make a long playoff run. It's all about, as the Bruins proved last year, it's all about having a capable number one goalie, and they got that with Pecorine, and they got the defenseman on the back end to keep good shots to a minimal by the opposing team and create scoring chances at the other end. Obviously, Weber's got a bomb, and Suter's adept at moving the puck as well. So with those two on the back end, their forwards aren't great. They're looking for forward depth. I think if they trade them, they could probably fleece Philly for Couturier or Shen. Maybe, I don't think they'd get Van Riemsdyk. I don't think they'd want him because of the big contract, even though on the flip side of the coin he's locked up long term, which obviously is something that Nashville would want. And I think any of those three guys would fit great in Nashville's system. I think Couturier's numbers would jump up, obviously, and Shen for that matter too. They, playing on a team, there's aspirations to win the Stanley Cup, being 20 and 18 like the two of them are. You have a hard time fitting into the lineup that requires you to play defense and be accountable in your own end. So I don't fault Laviolette to keeping their ice time what it is. Couturier has really turned a lot of heads with his defensive game. He's been great, and he's really made that team awesome. He gives you depth up front, just a big thing, obviously. Shen played. Shen's only got 5 points on the year. Wow. And you know what? It was amazing seeing him get his first goal in the Winter Classic. That's something. It was a long thing coming. I think Shen would fit in great in Trotz's system. Um, he's a perfect fit. He's got 12 points when he was in the AHL, though, so it kind of figures. Couturier's got 19 points in 44 games. Van Riemsdyk's injured right now. Van Riemsdyk's not having a great year either, but he's a tremendously talented forward that could really give Nashville's forwards a jump start. I think Matt Reed would be a good fit too, but I think Phillies really likes what they found in him, and they found a diamond in the rough from Bemidji State. So, there's a ton of ways you can go, but I think the leading bidders for Suter as a trade asset would be the Bruins and Flyers. I think come July 1st, Edmonton and Detroit would be in that mix. I don't think Edmonton would make a trade for him because obviously they're not going anywhere this year, and Nashville would never trade him in the division. That's why I think as good as the prospects Detroit and St. Louis, for that matter, too, could offer, they want to give him up. It's not worth it to trade him in the division, then watch those teams make long playoff runs. I think to trade him east. That's why I think Philly and Boston, like I said, in the Rangers, a long shot, but I think they're definitely in that mix. Glenn Say likes making the big deals for the star players, and player who wore the red, white, and blue in the Olympics would look good wearing the red, white, and blue and on Broadway. So, but like I said, I hope Nashville re-signs them and can keep their core nucleus in place and can hopefully maybe see the Bees in the finals. That'd be awesome. I would love that. That's it for the power play of CJ on the Ryan Suter situation. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the season. Later, guys.